Okay guys, I'm not sure if you still wanted to watch coloring, but what I went ahead and did is finished the little fishies, and I made them all goldfish. And then I went back through here, and instead of putting black in, what I did is I used this cool gray 1067 and added gray tones in here and up here on this side too, and then going down all the way down into the black. Only because I believe this is a whale. And the waves here I'm going to make the blue color like I did on the one I showed you earlier on the other video with the octopus that was in it. And doing those in blue, I figured it wasn't a great idea to leave this bright blue, so I didn't want them to blend too much, so I added some nice gray to that. And this is what the little fishies look like when they're all finished up with the colors that I used, which were the orange, the neon yellow, the yellow orange, or yellowed orange, and a tiny bit of the neon orange. And those are the colors I used along with the inks, squeezed lemon, and spiced marmalade. And in the previous video, which I'll leave a link in, I showed you how I did this and how I inked this with the blues. And like I said, I'm just gonna finish coloring a little bit here with the grays just to darken this up. And I believe I mentioned before, I am not going to worry about any of these little dots or too much on these things, because I can go through them and paint them either with white or using the Posco pen. And when I went over at the little fishy here, I got a little bit of the orange in here on the whale, but I'm not going to worry about that. It's a reflection on the wet whale skin. So it goes nicely with it, I thought. And any of the excess pieces that, like the yellow coming out here, that is not going to bother me either, because the yellow is the lightest of the inks, and any other inking that I do, say if I wanted to put a sun here and do rays outward, would cover the yellow up there with either orange or yellow, it didn't matter. Blue will go over that nicely also if I wanted to do blue clouds, because it'll give a variation in the cloud look. Or if I wanted to do little bubbles, I could do it in a rainbow color and use that as one of the yellow bubbles. So like I said, when I color, I'm showing you, and you're not even on camera, this yellow hue up here. That's what I'm talking about. When I color, I do not worry about going over the edges. I'm not going to fret about adding a color into another color, because you can either color over it, you can change the color of the other thing that you're doing, paint over it with acrylic paint, and you'll never even know it was there. So I never worry about that kind of thing when I'm coloring. I know a lot of people do, but coloring to me is a de-stressor, so I don't stress over it. Put it that way. So when I am coloring the waves, I also like to go in with the ink that I have and give the dark areas here a coating, because I don't want to spend a great long time doing all the shading in here. So we'll just give it, and again, I'm just covering this part of the ink pad here with the ink. So I just dip in the corner, and then I will just take it and lay the ink in that corner, not putting the whole ink down on it, and just brush it in very gently where I want to put it. not an exact science, it's just where I think it goes nicely in the shading areas, because that's where I'm going to do most of my pencil work. And the lighter areas should stay a little light, just because that's where the light's going to hit and the foam happens in the picture. But like I said, if I goof up and go over it, it's not going to bother me one bit. You can do whatever you want with your pictures. Okay, and then we'll get a little on this side. And just brush it in here. There's a little fishy down there, I didn't even see him. Some of the nice things about these books is they've got a lot of shading in for you to begin with, and when I'm coloring them, I find the cutest little things just sticking in here. This is, I forgot to tell you, Imagine Morphia, and it's Kirby Ronsberg here. I'll leave a link down below for that. Now the waves look pretty good. I will be going in there with the blues I had before that I was doing the whale tail in. So it would be the, oh, I'm sorry, I just got it upside down. That doesn't make it very easy for you to read, does it? Denim Blue 1101, the Sky Blue, which is 319, and Indigo Blue, which is 901. The indigo is the dark one I used up here and down here, and then the second shade and the third shade. And we will go in with the dark and just color in up at the top by the waves and kind of down where it comes. Not too much on the little foam that's going on here. And what I like about inking, number one, is it lays down a really nice smooth color, but it also glides these pencils on really nice. The paper is really good quality, so that helps a lot. Then I'll just bring that color up, and I'll bring the shading down. I left some pieces that didn't have the ink because it was just too close to out here, which is fine. The color pencils that I chose are so close to the ink colors, or blend so nice with them, that it doesn't really make a difference on that point. So I'll just keep very lightly adding color in here. I kind of like to do one wave at a time so I can figure out the color palette for the rest of them. And then a little more color here. So I hope you all are doing well. We finally got some good weather here. I was out earlier in the garden pulling weeds. Woohoo, excitement, huh? I love gardening, so I have a beautiful rose garden outside, and a couple of other really nice hydrangeas and stuff that I weed a lot. And then we have the vegetable garden that we're going to put together yet. Tomatoes. zucchini. Yes, I love zucchini. You can probably tell by my channel name. Everybody asks about that. When I was looking for a channel name, I wasn't exactly sure what I was gonna, use, because it's not something that just pops up in your brain. So I just took my first and last name, transposed the letters, and picked my favorite vegetable and my pet. I have a cat, so I became Zucchini Kitty, which is a play on the Karen Zabak name. There, now you know a little something about me that you didn't know before. So this is how I'm going to get all the waves done. I'll just keep going back and forth and adding a little more color to it where I think it needs. Of all the colors. So I will show you the finished portion of the waves when they're done. Okay, so there are the waves, and if there's any spots that I don't like, or if I, excuse me, messed up, I take just this little hint. I have one of these little erasers that's just a regular plain old eraser, and then I have one of these, and this is a sandpaper eraser. And if we recall, there is ink underneath this, but the ink is light, right? And the Prismacolor blends in really well. But if I wanted, say, a little lighter color there, I just take the eraser and just erase a little bit. This particular one will not take, like this is a sandpaper one. It'll take up all the color and the ink that's on the paper because it has sandpaper in it. It's really good for, say, if you messed up and you want to erase a clear edge. Now, this is like what you would use to take up pencil, and it doesn't really clear pencil that easily, but I love this thing because it takes just enough of the colored pencil away, but it also, in case I didn't blend it well enough, will blend it a little bit more. It gives me enough highlight, takes away enough but not too much, and just kind of helps me smear my colors around a bit, and just adds, even if I had a little extra in the little fishies I wanted to take off, I could just run it around and give him a little brighter tummy or area someplace. So I always go through and I do that. So that is the base on that. And the only thing I'm going to do on the, what do you call this? The foam part of the waves is go in with the extremely light touch and give it a tiny blue coloring around the curves. It's not adding much color, but it's adding enough to make it look like I did not color it. So okay, this also, since it's so light, if I missed any shading in here, I can use it for that. And also, like in these areas where I pulled up some blue on the pencil, it kind of shades the blue right into the clouds, which is nice. Or the foam, I should say. It's not clouds down here. Anyway, I'll keep doing that, and I'll also use it up here to blend in any of the pencil that I didn't use too darkly, because it's a nice light shade. So I will just continue coloring up this little guy. And every little thing that I can touch here. Well, I think this is about as much as I'm going to color today. I may finish these little fluff balls off camera. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, and if you'd like to see some more coloring on here, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you have a great day. Bye now.